Nolan Night.
Hello from Rose Bowl Media Day here in Pasadena, California. Nolan Night with Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk, you're on the call to be here in the college football playoff, but to be at the Rose Bowl. How special is it?
Oh, I mean, it's always, this place and this game is always special, but when it sits in the rotation, it's a chance to be a semifinal. I think it just adds to it. You know, you always get teams that aren't necessarily familiar with the tradition of the Rose Bowl, so hopefully Alabama fans from Huntsville and other areas within the state able to make the trip out here, because I always try to tell people it's one thing to enjoy the game, but if you come out here and just see it, it's supposed to be a beautiful day on the first. It just adds to the memory, you know, and I think Alabama fans came out here maybe the 09 season, they can be a testament to what they experienced that year.
Of course, for us, or for those from Alabama, the fact that they're here was a surprise to plenty. You spoke a lot about the fact that Alabama got into the playoffs. Now that the bowl games have started and we've seen kind of how things have played out, do you think that, I think everyone thinks that this was the matchup everybody wanted to see?
I mean, it was for me all along. I just think if you watched Alabama throughout the year from where they were early in the year, not only the Texas game, but really more maybe the USF the next week, and then they end up, the fact you bench your quarterback to the point he becomes the strength of the team offensively. This is one of the best jobs of coaching that I think Nick Saban's done in his tenure since he's been in Tuscaloosa. I think the biggest thing is you're breaking in two new coordinators. You don't know who the quarterback is, and yet the reason I picked him in the preseason to win it all had everything to do with Georgia had won 2 in a row. And I knew that didn't sit well with Coach. So I knew whoever those players are, they're going to eventually play for Alabama. I knew they had a shot to have a special year, and here they are. But the Rose Bowl setting will definitely add, I think, to the memory for the fans.
And finally, you being an Ohio State guy, you know the tradition about the Rose Bowl. For those in the SEC country, what does make it so different?
It's almost like, if you can imagine, the flyover, first of all, it's usually a big stealth bomber. The national anthem's amazing, chills. It's the history and the tradition of it, but literally it feels like when the national anthem's over and the teams are about to come out, right before the kickoff, it's like Steven Spielberg has a megaphone at 100,000 people and he yells, "Action!" Like the setting, the lighting, and the way in the stadium, the way it unfolds throughout the afternoon and then into the evening. It's just, you know, there's Augusta National, in the Rose Bowl. It's just a sacred place, and I think the players who haven't been around it will really find this opportunity, especially if you win, find this a very unique place to play a game.
Perfect. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
We'll have more coverage from Rose Bowl Media Day coming up at 6.